Hello everybody, welcome back to Tom Talks Stuff. I'm Gleeman Tom, and today we're discussing How to Train Your Dragon! I know, awesome, right? Right? So I think it's important to start out by saying Friday was not a good day for me. It really wasn't. It was so just frustrating. I had like 5 videos of good content for you guys, and none of it worked! And I don't know why. It was unbelievably irritating, and I needed something to take my mind off it, just something to enjoy myself with. So I decided to watch the first How to Train Your Dragon movie, and I was actually pretty excited going into this, because I've seen it before several years ago, but a few months ago I listened to the audiobooks of the How to Train Your Dragon series written by Cressida Cowell, I hope I said that correctly, and narrated by David Tennant. David Tennant is now like my second favorite audiobook narrator. That man made you believe he was a Viking. It was really well done, like really well done, and so much fun to listen to. So by going into this movie, I was now going in with the knowledge of the original story, the original books that this was an adaptation of. And I was worried just a little bit that it would throw me off, because they are quite different. I think I'm going to make a video on it in the near future. But I still loved it. And I think it was because I saw this movie first. I mean, that can happen. I want to systematically destroy every Aragon movie in existence. But Percy Jackson, I saw the movie first, and even though it is fundamentally different than Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief book, I can still enjoy it. But there's some where you just can't. You just can't. It hurts too much. Dragon Ball Evolution, anybody? Anybody? Yeah, that's just... Excuse me, I need a moment. Anyways, to make a long story short, seriously, you don't know how much I had to edit down this conversation to get to talking about the movie. It's kind of ridiculous. But I had to go into this movie knowing it was an adaptation, knowing that there was an original story, and knowing that I loved that story. But I also got to go in knowing that I'd seen this movie before and enjoyed it in the past. Going in knowing it was an adaptation, and not just taking the book and putting it on the screen, but taking the book, taking some of its elements, and going with their whole different thing, which is what made it so much fun. It is similar, not the same. That's the point. I mean, you go and you look at Hiccup, and he's not that much horribly different than his book self, just a bit older. And he's now voiced by Jay Baruchel. Am I saying that correctly? I'm sorry for the click. Jay Baruchel. I hope I'm saying that correctly, guys, because I love this dude. He is hilarious. He is always so much fun. I liked him in Fanboys, and I liked him in Sorcerer's Apprentice, right? Oh, I'm going to be really embarrassed if I'm mistaking him for someone else. But, I mean, he's just geeky, and I enjoy him on camera. I really do. And then you go to some of the differences, like Fish Legs is so not the same as what he was in the book. Snotlout is Jonah Hillish. He was actually quite enjoyable in the movie, but in the book, he's basically Dudley Dursley as a Viking. No, seriously. No, seriously, he was. Also, Toothless. Toothless was the biggest change, because the Toothless in the movie is absolutely nothing like the Toothless in the book, which makes this scene, I'm still getting used to which side to point in on camera, which makes this scene so much funnier to those who have read the books rather than those who've just seen the movie. So it was fun. I mean, you got to see Stoic was in every incarnation, this hard father figure in a high position of power that had to maintain a certain outlook and appearance to his people, but also desperately loved his son in both adaptions. He has to be the chief. He has to be Stoic the Vast. Oh, hear his name in treble, ugh, ugh. The books have so much fun with that stuff. It's just great. But yeah, he loves his son to death. And Astrid's a new character. Yeah, because in the books, he was like even younger than Harry was when he goes on his adventure in their first story. And the girl that Astrid is based on, I believe, is Kamikaze, who doesn't even appear until, I believe, book 3. But I really did like Astrid, because you're aging him up a bit, and it was always unclear whether Kamikaze was into Hiccup or not. So to know that Astrid was, and to know that her character is based off, for goodness sake, both of them have a dragon named Stormfly. I hope I could actually eventually talk into this camera and not stumble over words. That's what the hopes of a lot of these vlogs are about, is to give me practice in both talking on camera and editing, but not making a lot of headway. What were we talking about? Oh, right, the movie. Okay, so Hiccup kind of basically starts out as like the pariah of his town. Whenever he steps out the door, he just causes a massive mess and a problem. And it starts without him wanting to prove himself, wanting to be like everybody else. I mean, that's the whole point of, you need to stop being this. And he's just like, you just gestured to all of me. That's the whole point. He just wants to be like them. He wants to change everything about himself. So he runs out and tries to shoot down the Night Fury, which is so glorious, I guess you could say glorious. Basically, even Stoic the Vast is out there looking for the glory of taking out the Night Fury. And Hiccup does it, but he ends up also messing up the Vikings' plans, and their sheep get raided, so he's berated for it. And, I mean, it's so bad that even when Stoic is preparing to go out and head for the dragon nest to destroy it once and for all, he says that anyone who stays behind has to look after Hiccup, who's coming. And everybody raises their hands. It's kind of messed up. But Stoic, in your face, Hiccup did shoot down the Night Fury, who is toothless, and he is the coolest. It's just awesome. And their interactions with each other and getting to know each other, and especially Toothless watching Hiccup draw, and then he draws himself, and he just gets all angry when Hiccup steps on it. It's amazing. It's such a cool moment in the movie, and it's not something that you really see much in the books, because, like I said, they go in a different direction. But it's awesome. And then Stoic comes back, and he hears how amazing Hiccup is, because Hiccup's been learning all of these dragon stuff from studying Toothless. And he's non-violently handling all of the dragons, but they don't really know that, because he's using tricks and stuff. And Stoic couldn't be prouder. So when it finally gets to the point where Hiccup gets to kill his first dragon, the monstrous nightmare, in the training grounds, he doesn't really want to do it. He even plans on leaving. He's like straight up running away. But Stoic couldn't be prouder at all. He's so excited. You could see how engaged he is when he sits down with his son. And he's like, we finally have something to talk about. And you can just, there's like a sparkle in his eyes. It's so great and yet so sad for Hiccup. So terrible. Oh, the poor kid. And this is around the time Astrid finds out about Toothless, and Toothless becomes the ultimate wingman and totally sets everything up for Astrid and Hiccup. Go Toothless. That's why he's being the wingman in the upcoming film. But could you see that trailer when he was trying to get Toothless to flirt? Oh, God. That was hilarious and at the same time just ridiculous. I loved it so much. Oh. So, yeah, so Astrid's on his side. I mean, I love how it, even in the end, when they find the nest, Astrid just looks at him and goes, we've been looking for this ever since Vikings touched down here, and you're going to give it all up for your pet? And then he just looks at her and he goes, yes. And she's like, okay, what do we do now? Which is extraordinary. And when you're watching the commentary of the movie, which I did because part of the reason I buy physical copies of movies is because they have special features, filmmaker commentary, deleted scenes. It's so much fun. That's why I get them. Where was I? God, again. Yeah, in the commentary, they even said, the writers said that converting Astrid was like the pivotal thing, because Astrid was the most dragon slaying among the youths. And he did it. And unfortunately, in his battle against the monstrous nightmare, Toothless comes to help, which is awesome, but also reveals Toothless and causes Stoic to, like, straight up disown him, which was horrible. But it also corresponds with the books, because there's this one moment where, is it in the first book? Where he basically has to banish Hiccup. And he is just as destroyed about it as he was in the movie. When you saw him step out of the door after yelling at him, and he just, like he's been struck. He hurt him so much. They got Stoic perfect. Stoic was perfect. I cannot even deny it. Stoic is better after watching... Stoic is better after reading the books. Stoic is better. And it makes the movie more enjoyable. And then it gets to this whole thing where, battle with the Red Death, and it's so cool. It's similar to how it was in the books, but not quite. And it was just so awesome. I forgot about the whole breathing out gas, and the tail was burning out, and he's like, "You got it, buddy," and Toothless's trust in him. Oh, and then they fired into his mouth, and it's burning him up from the inside. It's just similar, but not the same. And I think that's what made it so wonderful on its own. It was everything I needed to relax from the frustration and to come up with more content. Because now I'm doing a How to Train Your Dragon week, and I really hope I can keep up with it this time. But I need to push myself. That's what this whole thing is about. Giving myself something really fun to do, but that can also possibly entertain others. And I'm super excited about the stuff I'm going to be putting out here soon. So, if you enjoyed this video, please like, possibly subscribe. If there's anything else that you want me to talk about or watch or do on this channel, leave it in the comments below. Also, I have a question for you. Do you like the movie or the book, or have you read the books yet? And if you haven't, are you interested now? Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care. Peace out. Bye.